It's a terrific Tuesday evening for a little NCAA beach volleyball live from the Ching Volleyball Complex. Hi, everybody. Scott Robbs, Lisa Strand. I'm glad you could join us for what should be a fun match. Number 5 Hawaii taking on number 3 USC, and it's already a rematch from just a week and a half ago in California.
That's right. These two teams met earlier, only 10 days ago, in Zuma Beach playing in a Pepperdine tournament, and Hawaii came up on the short end. They lost 4 games to 1. They had one winning match, but things are changing a little bit for the lineups. The seeds have changed for Hawaii, not for USC. Hawaii switching their number 1 and their number 2 pairings. So tonight looks to be very different.
Well, the Trojans are the defending national champions. And before we go to break, this is what Jeff Hall had to say about them.
A team that's ready and hungry, very well coached, tremendous athletes on the other side of the net. You know, they are the defending national champs. They went undefeated last year, but there's a chink in the armor. You know, we finally took a duel off them 2 weekends ago, and then they've lost 2 matches or 2 duels, you know, since then. They lost to Pepperdine the same weekend, and then they lost to Florida State, which is good and bad. It shows they're vulnerable, but it probably makes them really hungry to come out here and prove themselves a little bit. And they've had a really good record coming to Hawaii and playing us. I expect nothing but the best from them. They'll be ready, but we're certainly going to give it our best shot, and I like our chances.
And welcome back to the Ching Sand Volleyball Complex. Let's now meet the third member of our broadcast team. Let's go sand side to Ryan Kalei-Suji.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Well, beach volleyball became an official NCAA sanctioned sport this season. Talking about the beach, it almost feels like a beach here in Manoa. Let's talk a little bit about the sand itself. You see right here, 18 inches of sand were brought in here to fill this complex. 18 inches is the regulation by the FIVB, which UH will be following, which means the sand here at the Manoa complex a little deeper than what the teams have been used to playing on the mainland, which means the players won't necessarily be jumping as high. Now, other than the name change, everything else primarily the same. Games to 21. If we do go to a third set, it'll go to 15. We'll have more from the sand throughout the match. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. Time now for the Hawaiian Tail FCU starting lineups. And here you see the 5 flights for USC. The 2 we'll focus on tonight. Flight number 2, which is coming up first, Sophie Bukovic and Alexa Strange. And flight number 1, Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. For the University of Hawaii, their starting lineup looks like this. You see 1 through 5. Flight number 2, Nikki Taylor and Lara Schreiber. And flight number 1, the second match, will be Katie Spieler and Emily Maglio. So you couldn't, there's Jeff Hall, the head coach in his second year for the University of Hawaii, and Hawaii looking to beat USC for only the second time ever since these two teams have been playing one another. And there's one of the great coaches of all time, Anna Collier, in her 5th season. She's coached in 2 Olympics and the 2014 AVCA National Coach of the Year. Well, Lisa, you couldn't ask for better conditions. Hardly any wind. It's a beautiful evening. You said earlier that maybe a little wind would be good. Actually, it's still tonight.
Well, it's really still here this evening. There's almost no wind tonight.
And there's an ace off the serve by Nikki Taylor. Good way to start for the University of Hawaii. Of course, Taylor known for her indoor game, but also 2-time All-American outdoors, and played in the flight number 1 a year ago, now in the second flight. There's another rip of a serve, but that one goes a bit too long.
And actually, Nikki Taylor played in flight number 1 just 10 days ago. She was the number 1 seed, and this little adjustment that UH has made has taken her down to playing a new team across the net in this second flight.
Alexa Strange, the lefty, sends that one a bit too far and serving a bit of a problem here in the early going. 2-1 Hawaii leads. And now we get to see the German national, Schreiber. She is a freshman, but has a lot of experience, played on the German Beach junior national team. Strange from the right side, off the dig of Schreiber, and it flies out of bounds.
And interesting enough, you might see that Hawaii will be serving Strange a lot this evening. She's a lefty. She's one of the only seniors on the team. But tendencies happen in sand volleyball where you pick a player and you start serving at them to break them down.
The bump set towards the middle, dug up by USC. Strange with the high set off the block. Nice diving dig, and then trying to push it over as a free ball is Taylor. Instead, she pushes it into the twine.
Schreiber, a big girl playing some great defense. She's a sophomore at 6 feet from Germany. doing a nice job. You're going to see her moving behind Nikki most of the evening.
Here's Bukovic, and that serve is in. She's a transfer from Long Beach State. She's a junior. And one of the youngest members. She's out of Toronto. She's one of the youngest members of Canada's national beach team.
Yeah, she's been to numerous different schools and seems to have found her home at USC.
Taylor slaps it off the block attempt, and the two sides will switch. Now, explain when the teams switch sides. It's every multiple of 7?
Multiples of 7 is when the teams will mandatorily switch sides. So 7, 14, 21, you have to know your math and your multiplication tables. And that's generally for the side. They're normally favorite sides, or the wind and the sun and the rain. So different sides present different variables to the players.
And timeouts are a little bit different in beach volleyball as opposed to the indoor game.
That's right. Timeouts, the players are responsible for calling their own timeouts. The coaches can suggest them, but the player actually has to initiate the timeout up to the head ref.
So there could be an instance where a coach is kind of letting the player know, I want a timeout, and they could completely ignore him and keep on playing.
Absolutely. They are in charge of their match right now.
So Alexa Strange will serve. The lefty from the right side jumps across court. Schreiber, Taylor, back to Schreiber. Schreiber hits that one long.
Well, and you can see USC going after Schreiber. You know, she's a little younger. She doesn't have the same experience that Nikki Taylor does. So let's see if they continue to go after her.
Largest lead here in the first set for USC, 6-3. Strange again with the jump serve, handled nicely on the second contact. Hammering it down is Taylor.
And so what Nikki Taylor is doing is she's taking control of the match by hitting over on 2. Nobody ever said you have to hit the ball 3 times, but here on the repeat you see Schreiber setting it up and Nikki just taking full advantage of the great set.
Schreiber to serve. Bukovic back to Strange. Strange with a nice cross-court shot and puts it down. I don't know if you can see on television, but Strange has this choker necklace that almost looks like a tattoo around her neck. And I actually inquired because I thought maybe it was a tattoo because it doesn't move, but it's a necklace. I don't know how that's comfortable, but it must be for her.
It's maybe her good luck charm or something. We don't know.
Cross-court into the back court. Goes Schreiber, a point for Hawaii. So UH within a pair now. F5 serving 7, and serving will be Nikki Taylor. Taylor served a couple of out here early with her jump serve.
Well, she can get going on this jump serve. It's just a matter of her getting in a rhythm here.
Bukovic, Strange, splits the 2 defenders and gets it to fall inside the end line.
And Strange doing a great job. You know, they're going to go after her, and I think they're going after her mostly because Bukovic struggles a little bit with her setting. So they're going to try to work Strange and break her down a little bit.
That serve into the net. So Hawaii will get the point, and we'll take a break. Set number 1. USC leads 8-6. Back on the sand here in Manoa. Hawaii and USC, the Rainbow Wahine, number 5 in the country. The Trojans ranked number 3. UH serving from right to left. Strange with the bad. It's an over-pump set, and taking advantage is Taylor, but the down official says she was into the net. So a net violation on Hawaii. Nikki Taylor arguing her case, but to no avail, and that'll be another point for USC.
And USC got a little lucky on that overset ball with a net violation called on Nikki Taylor.
Bukovic down the left side. Taylor have to bump it up. Schreiber dug up. Strange keeps it alive up near the net. Bukovic takes a big swing. Nice dig by Schreiber. Schreiber will try to finish it off, but it's an overpass. Pushed over, saved initially by Taylor, and then it hits the sand.
And this is where that ball control becomes so critical. Those little things, the ball a little too tight to the net on the last 2 plays, and you can't rescue play those balls.
How much have the 2 Hawaii players actually played with one another, Taylor and Schreiber?
Well, I'm actually not sure. I know that Schreiber played with Katie Spieler last 10 days ago against USC. So last weekend they did play together against HPU and Texas Christian University, and I believe that was their first competition together.
Got to keep in mind Heather Boyan was hurt before the beginning of the season in that hiking accident in Palolo Valley, and she was scheduled to be part of flight number 1, and that really threw everything for Jeff Hall into kind of a mix, trying to figure out who was going to be where and what combination would work. And so Hawaii still, if you want to say, is a work in progress.
Definitely. A lot of scrambling going on. And the other thing is they have a lot of indoor players coming outdoor.
Nice job by Taylor there. Gets blocked but sends it into the back row. Yeah, keep in mind, the women, the indoor team plays on Friday night against Iowa State. So Nikki Taylor will have to, she got today off from practice with the indoor team, but will be back there tomorrow, and then they'll play on Friday.
That's right. And USC, none of their players are indoor players. Just a reference, they're a sand or a beach volleyball team only. They train year-round according to the NCAA rules. As much as they can train, they do.
And that's got to be such a huge advantage when a number, if not the majority of UH players play both. Let's take a look again at that kill by the left-hand hitting Strange, dug up by Taylor, but no chance for Schreiber to go to the back row and retrieve it.
And Schreiber blocking that time. Nikki Taylor and Schreiber will mix up their blocking schemes quite often.
Taylor, Schreiber cuts it cross court, gets it inside the sideline. Nice job by Schreiber.
Schreiber seeing the court. Nikki doing a great job communicating, calling cut, cut, cut. She's up. Communication, a huge part of this game.
Hawaii's got to dig themselves out of a hole here. Remember, you played a 21. Bukovic to Strange. Strange off the block. Rat-a-tatted around, free ball over. Bukovic takes a big swing and crushes it down in the back row. So it's USC up on Hawaii here in set number 1.
And tonight's keys to the match for USC, it's basically to minimize the unforced errors. And for Hawaii, they need to be able to terminate the ball. They need to be able to put it away against USC, who scrambles so well.
13-8, set number 1. Trojans lead the Rainbow Wahine. Sophie Bukovac, who, when not playing sand volleyball, is a model, serves it, but the cross-court shot by Schreiber is good.
Schreiber really handling the pressure well, passing the first contact, a good passing. Nikki Taylor, perfect setting, and Schreiber just having her way, working well around the block.
Schreiber between both sidelines will go back and serve it. Strange will get the ball on the set. The lefty off the block. Can anybody get to it? No. Schreiber fell down trying to come from the back row, and Taylor couldn't get over there.
Well, that was a great soft block, and again, communication, Nikki screaming go.
Strange takes a deep breath. Nice jump serve. Schreiber, Taylor will bump it up for Schreiber. Kept alive in the back row. Strange back to Bukovic, who takes a big swing. Will get a touch at the net off the hands of Taylor as that one flies out of bounds. It's 15-9 USC.
And oftentimes, my personal opinion is that there's over-blocking in this game. I feel Nikki Taylor needs to learn to pull and not over-block because she leaves so much of the court open if the set isn't a great set.
Serve is in. Schreiber, Taylor. Taylor back to Schreiber, right side. Cross court, nice dig by Strange in perfect position. Strange hits it into the net.
And there's that set I was talking about earlier. It's a great dig by Strange. Bukovic giving her a set about 10 feet off. Really a difficult set.
I noticed watching some of the earlier flights, you would see the Hawaii blockers play back, but then the USC players would notice that tendency, and they would just dink balls over, just over the net inside, and then you had to readjust your block again.
Exactly. There's so much peripheral vision involved in this game, between the vision and also the communication. Those are huge.
There you see Jeff Hall. He also works, by the way, with the indoor team. He's Dave Shoji's right-hand man.
Double duty.
Yep. Bumped up for Strange. Big swing and a put down. And you can tell Bukovic and Strange have worked together for a while. I mean, they really look in tandem. They seem to communicate without having to say anything to one another.
Well, USC does such an experienced coaching staff, but not only that, when I watch them practice, their players constantly only play with their partners.
Schreiber aiming for the back corner, a tad bit too long. And the Trojans have pulled away here in set number 1. We'll get a timeout called by Jeff Hall. Oh, no, it's switching sides. Are they switching sides? Yes, okay. The two teams will switch sides now, and Hawaii will have to try to figure out what they can do to make up this deficit. So we'll take a break. Set number 1, USC 17, Hawaii 10. Let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank.
So Soki Bukovic, here on your screen, you can see her at the net, number 15. She sees the set, she identifies it off the net, and she drops and does a pull. and digs the ball. That is a great athletic move, identifying the set number one, that it's not too close. So she pulls, faking out Nikki Taylor on her attack.
Taylor has to chase down the errant pass. Schreiber goes cross-court, dug up by Strange. Bukovic jumps and slides underneath the net, and that'll be a point for Hawaii.
During that last timeout, head coach Jeff Hall talking to Nikki Taylor about her blocking assignment, saying she has to do a better job of lining up on Strange's left hand. Now remember, Strange hitting primarily with her left hand as a left-handed attacker, and saying that Nikki Taylor has to do a better job of moving in front of her her hitting hand.
You know, this is going to be a busy week for the beach volleyball team. They play at Queens Friday and Saturday in the Hawaii Invitational. LMU, Nebraska, USC part of that one. Then we'll be back here Sunday night when Hawaii takes on the defending indoor national champion Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
That's crazy. That is so much volleyball.
That's a lot of volleyball.
5 days.
Strange, dug up by Taylor, kept alive by Schreiber. Can Taylor terminate it? She can. Off the diving dig attempt of Strange. Hawaii trying to rally here in set number one.
And what a great save, what a turn and run. And it all started with a great defensive move by Nikki Taylor.
Taylor with that serve is in.
Now there's that serve. When she gets going with that thing, it can be very scary and a really quick catch up.
Second ace of this set for Nikki Taylor.
What you're going to notice is when she is serving, that's when Schreiber stays at the net and becomes the blocker.
Taylor again with a nice serve handled by Strange. It'll go back to Strange, but it's going to be jousted at the net and won by Strange as she battled with Schreiber, or joust with Bukovic and Schreiber. That's Strange and Schreiber, and goes off the elbow and out of bounds.
That's a senior versus a sophomore. That's experience right there at the net.
Strange back on the far right side. Down the line, that's in for an ace.
And you know, watching Alexa Strange warm up today, she was just really fired up. She was dancing with the music. She was getting really into it. She's just in a good place, but that is an incredibly difficult ball to pass.
A nice little break on that too, huh? Strange again. This time goes cross court. Taylor handles it. Schreiber diving save. Taylor will just slap it over, and it works. Off the hands of Bukovic.
Jeff Hall describing Nikki Taylor as one of the best attackers in the country, regardless of the set. You saw that time there, not the best set after an errant pass, but Nikki Taylor still able to find a way to get a kill.
And when talking about Nikki, we saw how much the beach game has improved her indoor game as well. And, I mean, she was a real terminator for Dave Shoji's squad last season.
Well, I think she became a completely different player. Number one, it just gave her so much confidence, and she just owns her own game.
Here comes Hawaii with an opportunity. Taylor, Schreiber, cross court, yes.
And those are the little plays that are going to keep them in this match right now. What we call a transition play. Schreiber doing a nice job getting around the big block.
So Hawaii within 4. Remember, it's to 21. Jump float. Bukovic. Strange will bump it back to her. She's going to be reached by Nikki Taylor. And so we'll get a timeout called by USC. Let's take a look now at the series record, sponsored by Aston Hotels and Resorts. And there you see USC leads this series 5-1. They just spent 10 days ago in California when USC won 4-1. USC, of course, winning the national championship last season as an ABC. Now, this year's the first year where this sport is recognized by the NCAA.
That's right. And so there will be a national championship in Atlanta, Georgia in May.
Strange rolls it over cross court and gets it to fall. Nice job by Strange recognizing the Hawaii defense.
Well, it's been an interesting evening so far. Most players have been banging away, just bombing. It's been a game of power, and this is the finesse of sand volleyball. She's taken something off. She's established herself as a hitter, and now she's mixing it up.
And there's the ace, and set number 1 goes to the women of Troy by the score of 21-16. We'll take a break, come back and have set number 2.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Warner Cable, is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Kaiser Permanente.
Welcome back here to the Sand, where USC leads UH by 1 set. During the break between sets 1 and 2, the coaching staff of Hawaii talking to their players. Now, before the match, head coach Jeff Hall was very adamant about Hawaii's game plan, going after the All-American Alexa Strain, saying that they're going to serve her regardless of what the situation is. They feel that she is an emotional player, and they're going to try to break her down by serving her almost every ball. We saw that happen throughout the first set. We'll see if UH makes any sort of adjustment heading in here to the second. Back up to you guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. There you see Alexa Strange, who actually transferred after her freshman year from Nebraska over to USC. She played indoor and outdoor
That's right.
for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, the San Clemente native, you know, she really wanted to just do sand only, and so she's been there. She's played in the number 2 position pretty much her whole time there, and you know, I have to almost disagree with that first match. I'd have to say she proved herself. I might switch it up a little and serve Vukovic. I would just change it up and see if they might get a few more points.
Oh, see if they make that change here in set number 2. The Trojans winning the first set 21-16. We're about ready for set number 2 to get underway here from the Ching Volleyball Complex. Absolutely terrific night, and the serve into the net. Good way to start things for the Rainbow Wahine. There's Nikki Taylor, the All-American for the University of Hawaii. The jump serve. Vukovic, Strange will chase it down, keeps it alive. Nice job by Vukovic recognizing the open space in the back row.
That's right. She sees the court really, really well. Last year, Nikki Taylor actually played with one of the seniors that graduated, Brittany Teagues, and they did a fabulous job at the number 1 position last year. And again, new partnerships, new adjustments.
There's a hit by Schreiber that goes wide and out of bounds. Taylor probably is she is a first flight player, but because of the injury to Boyan and trying to figure things out, she's been asked to come down and play at flight number 2.
That's right.
Taylor bumps that right side. Schreiber will go in the back row. There's Strange to dig it up. There's an overpass and pokey down by Taylor.
And again, most of the balls are going to be at Vukovic defensively. And here you can see the hands, an overset. There's the pokey. In beach volleyball, you cannot open hand dink over the net. You have to have your knuckles together.
Strange gets it down in the back row. So much of volleyball at the beach level, at least, it's not so much about power as much as it is location.
Definitely. I mean, that's where this game, I feel, really betters the overall athlete. You have to be able to do everything. You have to see everything and identify early.
Bump set for Schreiber, dug up by Strange, and then trying the overback pushover is Vukovic, and it goes into the net. Good effort.
If that worked, it was a great play, but when it doesn't, it's like, oh, so frustrating.
It's a tie to 3 here in set number 2. Hawaii needs to win this one to force a winner-take-all set number 3, and there's a service ace by Nikki Taylor. Time now to check out First Hawaiian Bank top 3 Hawaii career individual victories. There you see Katie Spieler, graduate student, flight number 1 player, 81 wins. Nikki Taylor with 63, and Ginger Long, who was also playing earlier tonight, with 60. So you see the top 3, of course, they're all currently members of this team.
And they're all upperclassmen, if you will, too, because that's how you get the wins. You play a little longer, hopefully you get more wins, right?
That's the hope, right? Aiming for the back row is Taylor, and she hits it a bit wide. So even things up 4-4. And there you see the great Dave Shoji, never misses a match.
He enjoys getting out here and watching. He's got a lot of investment in this program as well. Remember, Jeff Hall is his assistant coach indoors, and there's a lot of transition players playing for him indoor and out here on the beach.
Good hustle by the Trojans. Hawaii needs to take advantage, can they? Taylor goes down the line, and she crushes the coconut. Hawaii playing with a different energy than we saw in set number 1, maybe.
I think that really made Nikki feel good. She went up and exploded on that ball, and we got a smile out of Nikki Taylor after that play.
Vukovic, Strange. Strange finds the puka in the back row.
Vukovic with a much better set, keeping her off the net a little bit, therefore allowing Strange to work around the block.
Vukovic was a gold medal winner in the 2014 FIVB U21 World Championships. Nice serve. Taylor. She'll cut it cross court and it works.
So interestingly enough, Nikki Taylor just hammered one down the line. So again, she's established herself, and then here we see her taking something off. So she's mixing things up, and it really confuses the defense.
Now you got the USC players kind of trying to guess what to expect from Nikki Taylor. Strange has to wait, then she'll take a whack at it and trying to dig it up for Schreiber, but it goes off her hands and out of bounds.
And that was a bullet of a serve from Nikki Taylor. I mean, if you could have heard that from your home screens, she really nailed that ball.
The Canadian with the serve. Her German dug up in the back row, chased on by Vukovic. Up near the net for Strange. Strange looks it over. Nice dig by Schreiber. Back to Schreiber near the net, pushes it out of bounds to her right. So I had them kind of set up, but Schreiber just with the error.
That's a third lead change so far in this second game.
USC won the opener 21-16. Vukovic gets the serve over. Taylor will take a hit at it, and it goes long. Taylor had the right idea on the second attack, but hit it long, and so we'll take a break with USC leading 8-6. And there you see the scores, 21-16, 8-6 in the second. Vukovic, Strange leading Taylor and Schreiber. This is an important match for Hawaii because right now, in terms of matches, USC has won 2 of the first 3, so they lead 2-1. And of course, it's 5 flights that count. There's a 6th and 7th flight where the teams play each other. They don't win, and I believe Hawaii won the 6th and 7th flights, but those don't count towards the overall tally of tonight's match.
So this is a crucial match right now. This is huge for Hawaii. And when you talk about flights, we talk about number 1 playing number 1, number 2 playing number 2, number 3 playing number 3 down the line, and only the first 5 count.
Vukovic with a hard serve handled by Schreiber. Schreiber will get the ball back from Taylor. Nice 2-hand dig. Vukovic takes a big swing off the block and down.
That was like picture perfect from Vukovic. She identified that set and dropped back and dug that ball and then transitioned.
USC starting to pull away a bit here. Vukovic with the lollipop serve into the net. And before that service error, it was a 5-0 run by the women of Troy.
And that's a huge break. Let's see if Hawaii tries to change things up and go away from Strange.
Valera Schreiber out of Freiburg, Germany, serves that one into the net. That's one thing you can't have, particularly when you only play to 21. You don't want to have any service errors, give a free point to the opposing team, particularly USC.
That's exactly it, a free point.
So Strange always way back beyond the service line. Jump serves it. Bumped up towards Taylor. And Taylor goes cross court, but wide. And you can feel the emotion kind of changing from what it was like earlier.
Yeah, and you can just, the energy has completely changed. USC in the driver's seat right now. This is the biggest lead of the game.
Strange again, that serve into the net. So the last 2 points Hawaii has had has been courtesy of service errors.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Happy birthday. Gifts.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, since that's Thursday,
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Here comes Taylor. Nice serve. Handled by the Trojans, however. Vukovic off the block. Saved backward by Taylor. Turn around and flipping it over. Diving dig by Strange. Strange has to get back up and then hit it. She does. Hawaii frees it over. Here come the Trojans again. Vukovic from the left side. Cross court. And unable to get back over there is Taylor. Tough play for Nikki Taylor. So it's 13-8 USC here in set number 2. We'll take a break. And there you see Heather Boyan, who was injured a couple of weeks ago pretty seriously in a hiking accident in back of Palolo Valley, so she's out this season. She was expected to be part of the flight number 1 team, but just good to see her out and about and able to attend tonight's match.
Oh, such an amazing recovery. It's just that she's well and out here supporting her team. Got out of the hospital, I believe, last Saturday. Just a hard-working young lady and just an unfortunate accident. Very thankful to, be alive.
Absolutely. Well, you saw the ace there by Bukovic. And it's a 14-8 USC lead. That one goes long. So right now, Hawaii's really only getting their points off scoring or off service errors by USC.
And again, let's see if they try to change things up. They've got to do something a little bit different.
That serve goes long. Nice job by Strange. She was standing near the end line, and she pulled away at the very last moment, recognizing that was going to land long.
And there is no wind, so these balls are floating out a little bit longer, but a lot of unforced errors so far in this game.
Yeah, kind of sloppy. Well, we'll see if Strange can get it in, if Hawaii can get a natural point. Here comes the serve. Schreiber to Taylor, and she bumps it on the left side, but Schreiber, unfortunately, was on the opposite way.
Well, Nikki Taylor took a little sneak peek on that play, and I think she's getting a little frustrated because Schreiber is seeing all of the serves. So she thought she was going to beat the block and bump it over on 2, but it just didn't pan out.
You saw a stoic Jeff Hall there a moment ago. Taylor. Schreiber is more of an overset and taking advantage of Bukovic.
And here you can see a little bit of the communication breakdown. Hawaii, the energy just changing immediately. USC definitely in the driver's seat.
So 2 teams now will call a timeout. Or actually, probably Hawaii called the timeout. So we'll take a break as well. It's all USC. They won the first and up comfortably in the second. Well, the Trojans with a sizable lead here in set number 2, up by 8 on Taylor and Schreiber. Bukovic and Strange taking the first, as you see there, 21-16. Coming up after this one, the number 1s. You won't want to miss that. Here's a big high arcing serve. Schreiber has to go out of bounds to get it. Taylor will just hit it over, basically a free ball. USC on the right side. Bukovic off the block, and then trying to hit it off the block is Taylor, and it goes into the net.
And again, another unforced error. It was a good idea. She had a good block on that. She could have easily set it up, but she tried to shoot the ball over on 1. Sometimes you put a little bit too much pressure. You're trying too hard to do too many things.
For a scoring run right now for USC. Schreiber back over to Taylor. Taylor is going to be roofed. Roofed by Bukovic. As that one landed just inside the sideline.
And again, Nikki Taylor trying to go high off of the hands, but just not high enough and gets roofed at the net.
So a 10-point advantage right now for USC. They just need 2 more and they'll win it 2-0, and USC will be up 3 matches to 1 against the University of Hawaii.
And again, this match critical, of course, because this is the deal breaker. The first team that wins most of the matches out of 5 wins, the match.
There you see the Hawaii combination of Spieler and Maglio, flight number 1 partners, warming up in the far court. Here we are back to action as there'll be a Johnson. The net pushed over again and then blocked with the right hand by Taylor as Bukovic tried to force it over.
And that was an interesting play, very broken play. Great effort on the 1 arm up, and Nikki Taylor getting away with a 1 arm pokey over the block.
Taylor keeping Hawaii alive. Serve is shanked a bit. Strange bumps it over to Bukovic, who rolls it in front of the Hawaii players. Nice job. That is a terrific job by Bukovic, recognizing both players playing in the back row, and so just a little dump off up front.
Yeah, she had no block whatsoever, so she's holding the defenders there, so why not go short?
Match point for the Trojans. Line drive serve, and that will be aced by Bukovic off of Schreiber, and very impressively, USC takes the second set 21-10, and they win 2-0 over Hawaii's second flight by the scores of 21-16, 21-10. We'll take a break. We'll have more when we come back.
Welcome back here to the Clarence T.C. Ching Complex on the Manoa campus. We are joined now by Nikki Taylor and Laura Schreiber. Let's start off with you, Nikki. Obviously not the outcome you wanted playing against USC. What do you think were some of the things that you guys struggled with specifically?
We just really struggled with our passing. We couldn't pass the ball, and then because of that, we couldn't really get anything going for us. So that was one of the things that we struggled on, and I struggled on my blocking. I know that for sure. They played well.
Laura, we want to talk a little bit to you for a second. You're kind of been moving around, a new partner here with Nikki. What has it been like kind of moving up now here to the number 2 and playing some of the more difficult teams and challenging teams here in the number 2 spot?
Well, it's super fun to play higher. It's just more challenging, and I'm super stoked to play with Nikki. It's super fun to play with a big blocker. But yeah, we just gotta keep working hard, and on Friday we'll be back on the court.
Now, Nikki, we noticed that you were primarily setting a lot, but when given the opportunity, you were trying to look to score. Anything you guys are going to look to do maybe to get you more involved in the offense?
I think just like I said, passing to start. You can't really do anything if you don't have that. So I think start off with our passing, and then maybe work on those over on 2 balls that we've been trying to execute like I tried to, which weren't very effective. But work on those, I think, would be helpful for us.
Final question for you. It's a busy week. You're not only playing out here in the sand, but also indoors. How's it been like trying to manage this schedule? We know you did this last year, but it's got to be challenging.
It's crazy. It's so much volleyball in such a small, condensed amount of time. You go from indoor practices to then to training, then to class, then to sand practice, and then to training. So it's a lot of work, and it's one of the hardest days, one of the hardest weeks that we have so far, but it's just 1 week, and we just kind of look to get it over with.
Well, Nikki and Laura, thank you so much for taking time to join us. We'll have more coming up here from Manoa right after this.
Let's go down to the sand, and Ryan Clay Suji has a very special guest, Heather Boyan.
Very special indeed. That's right. We're joined by Wahine Heather Boyan. Heather, a very traumatic injury that you suffered that ultimately ended your season. But if you can explain to the viewing audience what exactly happened and how did you get these injuries?
Well, I was on a hike a couple Saturdays ago. It was the Kyle Crater hike. And I was at Topper Waterfall, and I just took a wrong step, slipped on a slippery rock, and just fell down. It was about 40 or 50 foot waterfall. I ended up having a collapsed lung and broke 10 ribs and fractured my scapula and got some cuts to go along with it.
I mean, amazing to see you here, though, up and cheering on your team. The response has been tremendous from the volleyball community with people going online and participating in the GoFundMe. What was that like to kind of see the response from your teammates and from the volleyball community as a whole?
It's just seriously so amazing. I can't even say how thankful I am for all the support that I have. Everyone here in Hawaii and then everyone back at my old school in Kentucky and just everyone back home in Indiana has just been amazing, and it just warms my heart to see all of the support and just everyone who's showing love.
Obviously not the season that you thought you were going to have sitting on the sidelines, but how do you think you can contribute to the team still, although not being able to play, but still being a big part of this team?
As a fifth year and as a senior, I think it was kind of my job this year to be some type of leader for the team, and even though I'm not on the court and I can't participate, I still want to do my best to be that vocal leader and to just be a good influence for everyone and just still be positive through everything, because negativity isn't going to get us anywhere.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for being here. Great to see you out here. You're an inspiration to many people out here. We'll send this back up to you guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. And earlier we got a chance to talk to Jeff Hall, the head coach, about the injury to Heather and how it affected the team.
Well, it was significant. It's a friend, it's a teammate, it's somebody everybody cares about quite a bit, so it affected us a lot. It's certainly a tragedy. And it took us a little bit of time to process exactly what happened. And the trickle-down effect of partnerships and chemistry that we put together through the fall and early in the season now were drastically affected by her accident, And I just think it's with a heavy heart when you travel on the road and go face the field we faced. That first tournament without her was a challenge, and the girls were bummed.
Well, I'm sure they were bummed. And Lisa, I'm not sure if you've ever been in that situation as an athlete, but it would be difficult, particularly when it is a teammate. But a lot of times teammates, they're closer than teammates. They are family, as Jeff said.
Well, they're like sisters. You work out together every day. You train. These girls have early mornings. They got to get up. They got to be supportive. She comes here, as a fifth-year senior, like she's saying, and all of a sudden, you know, she thinks she's going to be playing with Katie Spieler. They're working out hard. Katie and her just hit it off like amazing. They both work extra, put in long, hard hours. And then everything's kind of just swiped away from you, you know. But again, she's really classy, very thankful that she's out of the hospital and on the road to recovery. And what else can you say?
Yeah. Well, let's focus on tonight's final match, flight number 1. Katie Spieler, Emily Maglio against Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. Clays and Hughes, they are the duo when it comes to collegiate beach volleyball. They've won 32 straight matches. They're 51-3 all time together. And they're just a dynamic duo. It'll be fun to watch Spieler and Maglio go up against them.
Well, it will, because USC's gals, Hughes and Clays, have been playing together now for 2 full years. They're both juniors. They played with different partners their first freshman seasons. And Spieler and Maglio are brand new together. And so, you know, that alone puts them in a weird way, at an advantage, if you will. And Maglio is just coming into her own. And Katie Spieler is such a little hustler and a all-out great athlete that this is going to be an incredible match.
Well, you've got 3 All-Americans out on the sand right now, both Clays and Hughes, and of course Katie Spieler, an All-American, also the smallest player of the 4 at 5'5". Maglio making the transition from indoor to outdoor volleyball at 6'3", and Clays is 6'2", and Hughes is 5'10", and we're underway with flight number 1, and Maglio unable to handle the serve by Hughes, and it's 1-love USC.
And it's so interesting with this first serve. The first serve definitely identifies who they're going to go after or who they're going to pick on. So they've already identified they're going to go after Maglio. They're going to make her earn this.
Maglio cross-court, dug up in the back row, bumped over to Hughes. Hughes off the block, saved by Spieler. Nice job by Spieler. Here come the Trojans again, and the cross-court kill by Hughes. You know, Hughes was the first high school player in 2013 to declare she'll only play beach volleyball or sand volleyball. Sand at the time, beach now. And Clays, well, she was the top recruit coming out of high school in 2014. So that just tells you how good both these players for USC are. Here comes Maglio cross-court, Katsu.
And that's exactly what Maglio needs to do. She needs to get a couple of kills and the nerves out from underneath her and just focus in. She's got the home court advantage. She's got Katie Spieler as her partner. And she's got to zone in on every point.
Spieler's serve is in for the ace. Hughes thought it was going to go long, but it did not. And Hawaii has knotted it up here in the opening set.
So look to Spieler to go back to Hughes.
Spieler's like the Energizer Bunny. She just never slows down. And there's a nice shot by Hughes.
And Hughes, again, only a junior. Costa Mesa, defending 2-time national champion.
That's pretty impressive. Here comes Hughes' serve. Maglio with a good pass to Spieler. She'll bump it back to Maglio. Maglio cross-court. Is it in? Yes. You know, it's kind of amazing watching the transformation of Maglio indoors from her freshman to her sophomore year, where last season she was second in the conference in hitting percentage, third in blocks. And, you know, she could have a future on the beach as well.
Well, she actually wants a future on the beach. According to Jeff Hall, he says she's the next Canadian beach Olympian. He sees her heading that way to represent her country on the beach.
Well, here you see we've reached 7 combined points, and so the 2 teams will switch sides. So it's time now. How about for the Jack Fact? And the Jack Fact tonight is all about Emily Maglio making that move. She lost with the number 3 flight against USC a couple of weeks ago, and then against UCLA, won at number 3 versus Pepperdine. She then moved up to number 2 with Katie, and now Katie and her are number 1, and they beat Long Beach State, HPU, and TCU. Those last 2 coming this past weekend at Queens Beach.
So they have a couple of matches behind them.
Yeah, think about that. They've played together for what, like 3-4 matches. And think of the number of matches these 2 for USC, Clays and Hughes, have played, like 55-60 matches together.
And a lot of international ball. These 2 have played so much international, representing the USA. It's amazing.
Nice shot by Maglio.
Maglio going after. Clouds, excuse me. Great defense. She pulled, she did a drop block, and then she nails the ball down the line.
The bump set, Clays bumps it back to Hughes. A nice dig attempt as that ball flies over the fence and onto the track.
Just a little heat behind that ball, huh?
Yeah, just a tad.
And again, no wind here this evening. It's very calm conditions. It's ideal beach volleyball.
Bumped up near the net for Maglio. She'll roll it over. Bumped over right side. Clays cross court.
And Clays is so physical. She's going to attack that ball probably 9 times out of 10.
There you see the replay.
And Clays, you know, she graduated high school a semester early and went to USC. That's how determined she was to get into college and start training in the beach volleyball.
Well, this paid off. She's a junior, but she's probably like 19 years old, maybe 20, right?
Maybe.
Still very young. Flat-footed the serve by Maglio. Plays looks. Trying to get it over. Plays again to Hughes. Goes down the right side and gets it to fall on the line.
And that was a spectacular play by Maglio at the net. She went up to block it here on the replay. If you take a look at this, and she got one arm over it. Amazing.
Maglio, Spieler, up to Maglio, who almost reaches up and almost puts it straight back down.
She's got that cutback. It's very deceptive. It looks like she's hitting the ball on her way down almost, and that is an incredibly sharp angle.
And a lot of that probably has to do with her playing middle blocker indoors, right?
Absolutely. They train them to do what we call a cutback.
Nice float serve over by Spieler, bumped up on the right side. There's the block, kept alive, and then hit over, dug up by Spieler. Diving save by Maglio, gets over. What will the Trojans do? They'll find the space in the back row. That's how good they are. As Clays and her partner Hughes win the long rally. We'll take a break in the first set. 8-6 SC.
You know, Emily and Katie have just emerged as just a really solid team. They've just found a synergy that works really well. Katie likes to play behind a true big, and Emily's our biggest big. You know, at 6'4", she's a great net presence.
What does she mean exactly by playing behind a big?
Well, she means the big being the blocker, so she can just be the defender. The bigger girl will take all of the blocks, and then Katie can work around her. And then she's also got to transition the ball, because she's got to hit the ball after the girl sets her, right? So that's her strength.
Maglio over the block that time and gets it to fall.
And let's not fail to recognize this team is the Big West Big Pairs team the last 2 weeks in a row. So the Big West does have a conference now in beach volleyball. Again, NCAA recognizing this sport. And these two have been named the Big West Pairs team for the last 2 weeks in a row.
Good serve. Plays to Hughes. Cuts it cross court. Nice job by Sarah Hughes.
Sarah Hughes is so crafty. She's explosive, and yet she takes the same approach and takes something off for what we call the cutty. They cut the ball right in front of the defender.
Maglio directs it to Spieler. Back over to Emily. Nice dig in the back row by Hughes. Back to Hughes. Hughes finds it off the left hand of the diving Spieler.
So give credit to USC because they made an adjustment. Maglio had killed that ball 2 times previous, the cutback. We just talked about that. And Sarah Hughes went back and went right into that same spot and dug it.
There you saw Sarah Hughes, unbeaten this year at 7-0. And that serve by Hughes goes into the net. Her brother Connor, by the way, for some volleyball fans that remember, he was a terrific indoor player for the UC Irvine men's team. They won back-to-back championships when he was part of that team in 2012 and 2013.
Some serious volleyball family right there, huh?
Spieler runs up, goes cross-court with the serve, plays to Hughes. Hughes looking for the spot cross-court in the back row and gets it to fall down there.
And, you know, she's mixing it up so well. Remember, the previous play, she did the cut shot, and now she's going back into what we call the rainbow or the jumbo shrimp, back into that deep corner.
Jumbo shrimp. I like that. I always thought that was such an oxymoron. Here comes the bump set. Maglio with a big swing, yes.
Maglio doing a fabulous job hitting that ball over her shoulder, really without being able to see the defenders.
Hawaii playing neck and neck right now. USC in this first flight, flight number 1. Serve into the net. So two teams will switch sides. We'll take a break. USC up by 3 here in the first. Need tickets to an upcoming UH contest? Well, visit HawaiiAthletics.com. Call 944-BOWS or visit the Stan Sheriff Center box office. 3 easy ways to get your seats for exciting UH sports action. Of course, if you want to go to baseball, you can also go to the Les Murakami Stadium ticket office. Back to action, bump to Maglio, cross court, yes. Maglio, when she makes contact, she puts some true power in it, doesn't she?
She does, and I remember last year Katie Spieler saying, because Maglio was a red shirt right out here, and she said, she's going to be really good.
I bet she didn't think they'd be paired together, though,
I don't think she did.
There's another cut shot by Hughes.
And Hughes slicing and dicing, mixing it up, holding the defenders.
Do you know if in California they play beach volleyball at the high school level?
They do, and actually in Arizona as well. It's really the fastest growing game in America. It'll hit Hawaii in about 10 years.
I'm surprised it hasn't hit Hawaii already. There's a cut shot, but nice dig. Punched over and over the outstretched arm of Katie Spieler. So 14-10 USC lead here in the first set. Best 2 out of 3. We play to 21. Plays from Fullerton. Serves a line drive. Maglio. Nice bump set to Spieler. Spieler a little bit too much on that one.
And interesting enough, Clay's switching it up on that last play, serving Katie Spieler.
All right, timeout on the sand. 15-10 USC. There you see a very tall fellow. Of course, that's Stein von Tilburg of the Warrior volleyball team. The men back home after a very successful road trip over the weekend, winning a pair against CSUN. So congratulations to them.
And that was Hendrik Moll, his teammate that he was sitting with.
Spieler will take a swing at it. It's dug up by Hughes. Back to Hughes, middle of the net, and she hits it to her left and down. And now USC starting to separate themselves from Hawaii here in this opening stanza.
They are, and I think they're realizing they're switching it up. They're going to Spieler now because they haven't served her at all, and Katie Spieler has not had to be an offensive threat so far. So let's see if she can get a sight out here.
That serve off the net and out of bounds, so point for Hawaii.
Hawaii also doing some changes on their blocking, having Maglio primarily blocking line to start the match, and now they're mixing it up, having her block the cross court and Spieler release for the high line shot.
That's our Ryan Kalei-Suji. He's sand side for our matches.
Highlight.
A bump set, cross court, diving dig by Spieler. Maglio, a good hustle. Spieler will try to end it. She can't. It's dug up by Clays. Hughes back to Clays, pushes across court, diving dig, overpass. Pokeyed over. Here comes Hawaii. Maglio will turn around and dunk it down. Nice job by Emily Maglio recognizing the defense for USC and attacking it right there. And that'll be our Fujitsu cool play of the game. Let's take a look at this. This is terrific.
And this is a great dig by Spieler. She puts it high enough, and Maglio taking the opportunity on a 2, hitting on 2, catching the defense off balance.
Well, why not? We'll make that our cool play of the game. Thank you, Fujitsu. 12 serving 16 here in the first set. Maglio down the left side. And that will be off the dig attempt of Hughes on the receive. And out of bounds, an ace for Maglio.
And that's exactly what they need. They need a couple of service aces and moving USC around to get themselves.
3-0 scoring run now for the Bows. Maglio gets it over, handled that time. Clays, here comes Hughes one-on-one, pushed over by Maglio on a little bit of the overpass.
And let's see if USC decides they might need to slow things down a little bit. Great serving by Maglio, and then the pokey way up and over for yet another point.
Maglio gets up high. You forget she's 6'3", and she has pretty good hops. Nice diving save. That's going to be an overpass. Pokeyed over into the back row by Maglio. That's 5 straight for Hawaii, and they find themselves down by only 1 here in the first set.
We spoke about this earlier in our keys to the match. USC needs to limit the unforced errors, and so far there were numerous unforced errors.
So confidence on the Hawaii side right now with Maglio serving. Plays. Hughes over and down. You won't see any panic, that's for sure, with Clays and Hughes. They've been in this position, and like we mentioned, they have a 32-match winning streak dating back to beginning of April last year. That's amazing.
And 2 national championships. You know, that winning breeds winning. And so you definitely will not see panic with this duo.
And you look at them. Look at this. This is height against a 5'5" player against a 6'2" player, and usually the 6'2" player is going to win that one.
Yeah, and the set being way too tight. With Katie Spieler, you need to keep her off the net just like that, just enough so that she has the vision.
Bumped up near the net for Clays, and Clays gets it down.
USC just hitting the line left and right. They were doing cut shots earlier, and now they're going back to the line. They're moving the ball around the court, making it very difficult for Hawaii's defense.
You notice Clays and Hughes, their expression never changes. I mean, some players you watch and they'll show their expression on their faces, but these two, they don't. On the second attack, hit into the net by Maglio, and Hawaii was within 1, and now it is set point for USC. If they've reeled off 4 straight points. So if you're Jeff Hall and you sit down with both Spieler and Maglio, I mean, what do you say to them?
Well, he's not going to get the opportunity to sit down because it's a side change, but they're going to have to just pass first. They're passing a little bit of breakdown, but offensively keeping it and the communication open.
Set point for USC. Maglio better run quickly. She does, and it's freed over by Spieler. The shot, one-hand save by Maglio. Spieler up near the net for Maglio, pushing the back row, dug up by Hughes. Back to Hughes, to her right, and she gets it to fall down. And so USC handles the surge by the Rainbow Wahine. They pull away late and take the opening set by the score of 21-15. Let's take a look at the AVCA top 10 poll. There you see Pepperdine at the very top, followed by Florida State. They're the only 2 teams that have beaten USC this year. Trojans at 3, Bruins at 4. There you see Hawaii at 5, and then Long Beach State, Arizona, Georgia State, Stetson, and Florida International round out the top 10 of this week's poll. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the beginning of set number 2. USC won the opener 21-15.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Order Cable, is sponsored by Straub and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
Welcome back here to Manoa. We are just moments away from the beginning of set number 2. Now, for most of the match, the winds have been fairly light. We are beginning to see a little bit of the wind coming from Makai to Mauka during the break in between sets 1 and 2. Jeff Hall and coaching staff talking to their team about some of the adjustments that they have to make if Katie Spieler continues to get served like we saw at the end of set 2. Expect Hawaii to look at more over on 2s, which means Katie Spieler will pass a higher ball to the middle and Maglio may be attacking on 2. We'll see what happens coming up here at the beginning of set number 2. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. And there you see Lisa Strand-Ma'a's niece.
That's right, Katie Spieler.
She's the daughter of your oldest sister, right?
Yes, who flew out and is here supporting her daughter. Dad's coming in tomorrow for the weekend.
Well, they'll see a lot of volleyball, that's for sure.
They will.
That one is poking into the back row. One-arm save by Spieler. She gets up, and then she rolls it over. Saved by the Trojans. Bumped up left side for Clays. She goes cross-court out about. How about those defensive efforts by Katie Spieler?
Well, running backwards, the one-arm dig, and then to get back up and have to transition this ball shows the athleticism and the determination.
No question. That was terrific. Here's Spieler with the serve. Clays will turn around and hit it. Dug up by Spieler. Maglio will bump it over. Free ball. Then she blocks it, but it's saved by Hughes. The bumper right side for Hughes. Hughes down the line, gets it in.
A little rally going there that time. Maglio doing a nice job up at the net. And again, USC just slicing and dicing the ball around Mag's big block.
You like the change back to what this sport should be called? Beach volleyball?
I love that it's back to beach volleyball. It's where it originated. Come on.
Exactly. There's a shot and put down by Clays. There's always kind of it took us a while to get used to calling it sand volleyball. Just when we got comfortable calling it for sand for, 3 years, I think it was, or 4 years, the NCAA recognized it as a sport. There were enough institutions playing the game, and they went back to beach volleyball, which, of course, is the origin of the name of this sport.
That's part of the game. You know, beach volleyball has changed rules so many times, including the court size and antennas. You used to play what we call scoring 1 to 15. Now it's rally scoring. Lots of changes.
3-1 SC here in the second set, up 1 set to none. Spieler with the receive. Back to Spieler off Maglio's bump serve. Plays, looking in the back row. There's Spieler to pick it up. Can Spieler put it down? Slices it across court. She can.
Spieler hopefully getting in a little bit of a groove here, transitioning the ball well. In other words, digging first and then having to attack. Keeping the score close early on in game 2.
So Maglio, or Mags, as her indoor teammates, and I'm sure the beach teammates call her as well, will serve. There's a big cross-court shot by Sarah Hughes.
And Sarah, again, has done a nice job establishing shot after shot down the line in Cuddy, and then she explodes on the next one. So, again, very hard to defend her.
Players will run up. A little English on that serve. The bump is the set is too close to the net, and really no chance for Spieler. She's roofed by Clays. We talked about that, the bump set being too close to the net, and it paid off for USC. The Trojans lead 5-2 here in the second set, already up 1 set to none. 5-2, the pair of Clays and Hughes leading Spieler and Maglio. Here on a little Tuesday night beach volleyball from Manoa. And the serve gets over, Spieler to Maglio. Spieler will just roll it over and down. Nice job by the graduate student out of Santa Barbara.
Going for her master's, graduated in 3 years with her undergraduate in business, and now going for her master's in accounting here at the University of Hawaii.
So not only is she a good volleyball player, she's a smart girl as well. Bumped up on the right side. It's blocked by Maglio. Elbow save. Flipped over and down nicely by Clays. Was that with her back almost turned to the net? Flipped it over her shoulder, didn't she, like a setter?
Talk about athletic. I'll tell you what. Top sand recruit in the nation. Taking a quick sneak peek.
Look at that.
Yes, backwards without even looking.
Maglio with the bump set. Spieler looking for the back row. One hand save, bumped up near the net and hit into the twine by Clays.
Clays does an interesting pokey dig. She digs the ball straight up and down with like a knuckler on defense, and it's very consistent.
So Jeff Holland in his second full year, actually his second year as the head coach. Served by Maglio. And it rolls off the top of the net and falls down. Assistant coach Evan Silberstein and the longtime volunteer assistant Danny Alvarez, who's more than a volunteer assistant, isn't he?
Oh my goodness, Danny Alvarez does it all out of University High. Been playing lots and lots of sports his whole life, but just does more than most people would ever do for the love and the passion of the game and to help grow it. You know, he was Scott Wong's graduate assistant. He's stayed on, and he's been a tremendous attribute to this program.
And because of Jeff's commitments with indoor volleyball, he's out here all the time, where Jeff, he can't be in two places at one time. And there is a hammer down by Hughes.
And again, Hughes showing how explosive she can be. She may be one of the smaller players out here, but watch her attack on that ball. She puts everything into that ball.
Maglio gets to it. See if Spieler can terminate it. It's dug up. Bumped up to Hughes and off the block, but it goes out of bounds. So a 9-5 lead for USC. They won the opener 21-15, and of course Hawaii has already lost the dual match 3-1, but they'd like to get some momentum heading into the tournament out at Queens, which begins on Friday, which will be the Hawaii Invitational, LMU, Nebraska, this USC team, and of course the University of Hawaii.
Well, definitely. I mean, this is just for them to get more experience, and it's a great opportunity for Maglio and Spieler to play the #1 team basically in the nation.
And there's a nice put down by Clays. Yeah, I don't know if there's individual rankings for pairs, but if there was, this would be the top team. And great decision right here.
There we go, over on 2. She sees the block committing early.
Spieler, Mags, rolls it over and down. A little pokey roll.
And you got to look to Maglio and Spieler to serve a little tougher. They've got to get them in some sort of transit trouble off of the first contact ball.
Well, you look at this duel for USC, you don't see a whole lot of weaknesses, do you?
You don't, and so you have to do what Maglio just did. You have to kind of go for the serve. You got to go for the corners of the lines, because those kinds of points are easy points.
You know, the scary thing for opponents is that Clays and Hughes, they're both juniors.
Yes.
So they'll be back again next year. And I'm sure they'll be back here again next year. As every year it seems like the Trojans are in Hawaii.
Well, the team came earlier for the Pac Rim tournament in November.
Nice roof by Mags. And that's what she does best, isn't it?
You know, she is just so unassuming, but she drops in. She started to the right of Clays' shoulder, and then she dropped into her left and just stuffed her.
Hawaii down by 3. Hughes over to Clays, and coming up a little late from the back row is Spieler. Well, what do you do for a day off if you're USC? Well, you know what they do? They head to the North Shore and practice volleyball at Waimea Bay. How's that?
They had a great day at the Bay. The lifeguards out there hosted them, set up the net, a tent. They got to train out there.
There's a block by USC's Clays.
And, you know, Clark Little gave them all little things as far as calendars, and they felt very privileged.
All right, USC up 1-0, leading by 5 here in the second. There you see some of the fans here in attendance at the Ching Volleyball Complex. It's on campus, so we see a lot of athletes and student athletes here as well. And I was talking to some folks that have been to Queens, have been to here. They say you can't beat the view at Queens. I mean, that is the best venue in terms of view, but they kind of like it here as well just because of the atmosphere. There are more people and they're able to sit and actually see what's going on. So I guess you pick your poison. Both places aren't too shabby, and there's a kill by Clays.
And USC taking total control of this match right now, making it look so simple.
And it's not.
And it's not. We talked about this earlier, how USC's program is a year-round. These girls only play sand volleyball. They don't do double duty at all.
A nice job again by Clays. And, well, you look at USC, you look at UH, you look at USC's budget, you look at Hawaii's budget. They can do that, we can, as you see the replay of the shot by Clays outside the block attempt. All righty, we'll take a break. 15-8 USC closing in here on the second set. And look at that. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Beach volleyball here in Manoa. The score not so gorgeous if you're a University of Hawaii fan, but you can't beat it. Here comes the serve by the Trojans. Spieler to Maglio. Bumps it back to Spieler. Gets the back row, but it's dug up nicely by Hughes. Hughes will try to terminate off the top of the tape, and it ricochets down on the Hawaii side.
Gets a little lucky hitting off the top of the tape on that play.
5-0 scoring run now by USC. We'll be back here Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Come join us if you can out here. If not, tune in to OC Sports. Hawaii will take on Nebraska.
National champion indoor, Nebraska.
Maglio back to Spieler. Nice diving save, and on the second contact, hammered down by Clays. Do you ever foresee, you were talking earlier about USC having a strictly outdoor team? Coach, players, they don't play indoor. Could you ever see that happening here in Manoa?
I actually hope it does. I think it just, the athlete trains and actually gets to be better. You train in something year-round, you're just a different athlete. And
no
they
question.
are completely different games. I really, truly believe. You can have a lot of the skill sets, but, you know, you're really coaching yourself through these games. You call your own timeouts. You've got to figure out strategy. Your staff can help you, and the coaching staff can help you, but they tell you who you're going to play with as well.
Maglio had to come up to receive that serve. Couldn't pop it up high enough for Spieler. And the Trojans 2 points away from the sweep and the win.
Look to Maglio and Spieler just to fight and hang on here, get a little bit of momentum back on their side.
8 in a row now for USC on the scoring run. Spieler, Maglio pokes it over, diving dig, punched in the air, into the back row and in for Hughes. How can you beat that?
You can't, and that's why they're ahead at this. The separation is so great.
Yeah, that's very impressive. The play of Clays and Hughes and Ivana Collier, the head coach. It makes your job a lot easier, doesn't it, when you have athletes of this caliber?
It does, and she's worked very hard for it. She's a 1977 USC grad. She swam there, she ran track there, and volleyball there, and now she's coaching in her 5th year.
Match point for the Trojans. Maglio, Spieler. Does she get it off the block? Yeah, we get a touch called by the down ref, and so we'll continue to play.
Yes, she did, and that's a good thing. They need a little bit of momentum, again, like I was saying earlier, just on their side for the confidence, just growing, playing in this number-1 position tonight against the #1 team, basically, in the nation.
Serve gets over. Bumped up. Clays, dug up by Spieler. Maglio. Spieler has to hustle, just pokes it over. Clays, dug up by Spieler, but out of bounds, and that's it. As USC wins the second set by the score of 21-9 after winning the opening set 21-15. So they win 2 sets to none here in this flight #1 of the top pairs for both Hawaii and USC. And if you're looking at Clays and Hughes, well, now you can make it 33 straight matches they've won in a row. And overall, their combined record together is ridiculous. It's 52-3.
It is crazy. That's ridiculous, and it's well-earned. They played a fabulous, almost flawless game tonight.
All right, let's take a look now at the players of the match. It's brought to you by Bank of Hawaii. Sarah Hughes for the Trojans. Look at that line, 19 kills, 13 digs, and 3 aces. And from our flight #2, Nikki Taylor had a good evening, 9 kills, 6 digs, and 3 aces. Let's now go down to the sand. And Ryan Kalei-Suji.
Hey, thanks, Scott. We're here with Katie Spieler and Emily Maglio, fresh off the court. Obviously, Katie, not the outcome you wanted. What are some of the things that you sort of ran into, you think, against this USC team? Excuse me.
Well, they have a lot of experience. They played together a lot, so I think we needed to take care of our game better, and we didn't. So we just have a lot to improve on, and it's a good test always.
Emily, you're making the transition now from redshirting into the #1 spot. How has this been competing against some of the top teams in the country, especially right here in the top bracket?
It's definitely been a lot of fun. It's a totally different game coming from indoor. There's a lot more skill work I have to get a hang of, but it's a lot of fun and it's really good competition.
You know, we asked this question of Nikki. You guys have a full week of trying to balance sand volleyball as well as indoor volleyball. What has this transition been like, trying to balance both of these sports going on simultaneously?
It's definitely been difficult with school and all, but it makes the weeks go faster, and it's a lot of fun having, so much volleyball.
And Katie, this is your last season. Hard to believe it's your last year. Going into it, of course, with a new partner, what are some of the goals that you're trying to set for yourself moving forward as the season progresses?
I think for us right now, it's just improvement. We're the underdog right now. Our record's not great, but we just want to work hard and end the season peaking. So that's our goal. And yeah, obviously, I just want to cherish every moment of this season. So.
Well, best of luck to you guys on Sunday night. We'll send it back up to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. We'll take a break. When we come back, Lisa and I will have some final thoughts from the sand courts here at the Ching Complex on the UH Manoa campus.
We're back here at the Clarence T.C. Ching Complex where Hawaii falls to USC 4 matches to 1. We're joined now by head coach Jeff Hall. Jeff, obviously not the outcome you wanted against the USC team. Talk about not only the match that we just saw, but tonight as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, first let's give credit to USC. They did a great job. Very good team, defending national champs. But we felt good coming into this matchup. We thought we had a good week of practice. We just didn't perform when we needed to. At the bottom end, I thought it was really competitive. I thought that's actually where we were a little better today. Our 7, our 6, our 5, our 4, and our 3 all battled. In fact, we won quite a few of those other ones that don't really count. But, we've got to take care of business at the top end as well. I think we just ran into two teams that played extremely high level. Their 1 and 2 just were really efficient tonight. And they didn't give us any points, and we struggled side out. So basically, that's the end of that set or that match. But, girls played hard. We just got to get better.
We saw a little movement going on at the top with some of the new players. Do you think moving forward that these have sort of solidified now, or is there still room for some tweaking in the 1s and 2s and 3s potentially?
It's the popular question, and for me, I think we're pretty set on the pairings. We just have to get better in what we're doing with those pairings, whether it's siding out at a more efficient level or serving better or attacking better. But we may change it a little. This year with no pairs championship, it doesn't matter what flight you're at. You just got to win your duel. You got to win your flight, to win the duel. And for us, if we think moving somebody will help us, then we might. But I think the kids want to settle into a rhythm with their partner. I think that's important, and we're probably going to stick with this for a little while and kind of see how we battle for the next couple weeks.
Looking ahead, you guys have, of course, another match throughout the week. But when we're back here, you're going to be playing Nebraska. What can fans look forward to on Sunday going up against the Cornhuskers?
Well, let's get a good showing out here. Let's have everybody come out and watch the defending national champions. They bring most of their indoor girls to the beach, so a lot of great athletes. They will have some really nice rallies. They'll be very powerful. They'll be very physical. I think that we have the beach savvy, but certainly even last year it was a 3-2. It was a tough duel. We're expecting to win, but I'm sure they're coming to win as well, and it'll be a great match. Let's just get people out here to support us.
Jeff Hall, thank you very much. Best of luck to you folks moving forward. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Let's take a look at highlights from tonight's pairs. And first, it was flight number 2. There you see Lara Schreiber for the University of Hawaii. Goes cross-court, gets a kill right there. Well, her partner, of course, is Nikki Taylor, who does it both indoor and out there with a powerful kill. There's another one put down by Nikki Taylor. But USC's duel was a bit too strong. Sophie Bukovic, who transferred from Long Beach State with a nice serve off the tape. It falls for the kill as an attacker off the block. She gets a point for USC. And then the block by the Trojans.
And Alexis Strange doing a great job. One of the only seniors on the team, a lefty, nailing balls down, hitting and blocking. Had a fabulous night tonight with a lot of emotion.
Strange, the lefty, gets the kill. How about the nightcap? The flight number 1s, the top teams for both Hawaii and USC. Katie Spieler, the All-American with a great diving save. Spieler gets the serve in for the ace. How about up near the net? Slices that one cross-court for a put down for Hawaii. Emily Maglio in her first full season out on the beach shows why the potential's unlimited for this freshman. Maglio with the pokey into the back row. Maglio up near the net, goes cross-court, no chance for the USC defenders. But Kelly Clays is really good. I mean, really, really good. Here you see Clays fooling the block of Maglio. Clays again flips that one over her shoulder with her back to the net, and the block by Clays. And her partner, Sarah Hughes, well, the duo together have won 33 straight matches.
And Hughes just doing a phenomenal job all night long. Emotion never changing, just like a little robot out there, making play after play after play, and just full steam ahead. Excellent playing by USC.
And the flight 1s and 2s were a bit too tough for the University of Hawaii. Let's take a look from 1 down to 5. There you see 2-0 and 2-0 are 2 television matches. Earlier in flight number 3, there you see Hawaii won their only match, 2-1. And then you see a couple of others down there as USC won 2-0 and 2-0. Belton and Colonel Chan along with Creamer and Nightingale. So 4 matches to 1 in favor of USC as they now improve to 6-2 on the year. Hawaii drops to 3-4. This has been kind of a one-sided series. If you think a team that had, your Achilles heel, for Hawaii, it's been USC.
Well, definitely, and you got to have a takeaway here. You got to look at it and you got to go, this is an opportunity for us to look where our weaknesses are, what's been exposed, and then to grow from it. So that's about all you can do with this USC team. They are strong and they're incredibly physical. They started the year rated number 1. In the last 2 weeks, they fell down to number 3, and that's because they lost to Pepperdine, and then they lost to Florida State University. But, you can see there's competition out there. USC is a little ahead of Hawaii right now.
And this is a difficult period for the volleyball team, the beach volleyball team, because a number of them play indoor. And you've got the big match on Friday night against Iowa State. You have the Invitational at Queens on Friday and Saturday, and then the dual match on Sunday against Nebraska. That's a lot of volleyball to be played.
It's a ton of volleyball, and that's where your training and your workouts and your good rest and your diets, all those things come into a huge factor in order for you to be successful, because come Sunday, they could be on fumes.
Yep, that's right. So the University of Hawaii will have to get their things together, both indoor and outdoor, and get ready for a very busy week of volleyball. But hey, it's playing volleyball. You can't complain about that. Well, that'll be it for us here tonight from the Ching Volleyball Court. Special thanks to our entire OC Sports crew. For Lisa, I'm Scott. We bid you aloha from the Ching Volleyball Complex in Manoa.